Hey everybody, and welcome to BK's Bullets. Today we're talking the Justice League Comic-Con 2017 sneak peek trailer. Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. I am your host, Brent, and I just finished watching the Justice League 2017 Comic-Con trailer. Now this isn't the teaser or the thing we got last year. This is new footage, lots of new shots. It is 2017. Justice League comes out in November of this year. And so we're, 4 or 5 months away. So the promotional campaign is about to hit real hard and real strong because I know Warner Brothers wants this movie to be big. Now, I haven't read any panel reports. I'm not in San Diego. I'm here home in Orlando. As you can see, we are in the usual spot, the man cave. And so I was waiting for this trailer to drop. Didn't want to read anything, basically. So I wanted to watch this trailer fresh. So that is what I'm giving to you now. I like the trailer. I think it's cool. It is not the best trailer I've ever seen. There is no jaw-dropping oh moment. I think they might be saving those for things that will run in front of actual movies. The real trailer 1, trailer 2 thing that they usually have to go on, because normally it's like they release a teaser, then they release the first trailer, then a second trailer, sometimes a third, sometimes a final one. It depends on the movie. But for Justice League, we have gotten the Comic-Con sneak peek which we got last year, which is the one where Batman is searching for Aquaman and they meet in the bar and stuff like that. And you've seen all those shots, and Batman and Wonder Woman are now the duo in this movie, seems like, talking in Batman's cave or something like that about assembling all these guys. And it ends with you see a lot of shots of Batman talking to Barry Allen about being the Flash and joining the team. None of that stuff is in this trailer. It's mostly brand new footage. I think there are a few other things that were a little similar, like shots of Flash that have been done the last time, but most of it is brand new stuff, which is awesome. And this thing is long. This thing is like 4 minutes long, so you really feel like you're gonna get a little bit more sense of the movie as opposed to a short trailer where you're like, oh, that was a great trailer, and then you watch the movie and you're like, I'm not sure. So initial reaction, I like the trailer. I hope the movie is good. Zack Snyder directed it, and we have Joss Whedon stepping in to finish up the edit, finish up the reshoots and things like that they're probably doing. I don't know if they're doing it right now. I would hope they would be done, or they'd be close to being done, it being Comic-Con and everything. We're in late July after all. So Joss Whedon's going to finish shaping the film, and that is what we will see in November. So I'm hesitantly excited for it. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to give up on my boys. Batman, Superman, the DC universe is my universe. I'm a DC guy, so I'm not going to quite give up on them yet. I'm holding out hope that they took in stride all of the criticisms and stuff like that they got after Batman and Superman, because I and many others felt that was the wrong direction in which to take the universe, much less do all the things they did in that movie. That being said, this movie looks like a lot of fun. I think the breakout characters, unfortunately, it's not going to be Cyborg. We already all love Wonder Woman. Her movie was pretty good. But I think the breakout characters here are going to be Flash and Aquaman. There's a great shot of Aquaman riding a parademon down from the sky and into a building, and he just jumps off like like the slip and slide or whatever. It's kind of like Legolas. Kind of the same type of shot from Return of the King, where he rode the elephant's trunk down, the Oliphant, and down and then landed on the ground. So it's kind of that similar shot, but it being Aquaman and Jason Momoa with his badass beard and his long hair. But another thing that was cool about Aquaman in this trailer is you got a sense of his personality. He doesn't seem like the hard-ass, gruff, all the time guy we saw in the first trailer with the drinking and throwing Bruce Wayne up against the wall and things like that. There's a shot of him going, frankly, I think we're all gonna die. And that's great. That means that this character is not going to be the rough, gruff Aquaman. Obviously, I think he plays very well, or is probably very close to Jason Momoa's real personality, which is probably a good thing. I don't know if Jason Momoa is that great of an actor. He was great as Khal Drogo, but that was pretty one note. And also, all the lines that Khal Drogo said were in another language. So how easy is it to emote, or not emote, if you're speaking a language that everybody's reading on the bottom of the screen while you're talking instead of actually looking at your face and your performance? He was in the Conan the Barbarian remake. that didn't do very well, and he didn't really break out after that either. So I think this is his moment, this and the Aquaman movie. James Wan is a great director. He's directing the Aquaman movie, not to be confused with Zack Snyder. So hopefully he can get a good performance out of Jason Momoa, and hopefully we see that as well, or the beginnings of that, in this movie called Justice League. So I think by far that was the coolest moment of the trailer. Also, we get a lot of good shots of Cyborg in this movie. Seems like they've nailed down his design. It is final. It is locked down. I'm still not 100% fan of it because it's a lot more mechanical than I would have liked. And I think the only thing that's not mechanical is the one side of his face. But Aquaman, or not Aquaman, see, I'm even forgetting his name. Cyborg doesn't seem to be a breakout character right now, and they didn't show off any of the perceived buddy-buddy things that him and the Flash have going on. And we didn't see any humor. Cyborg was very mechanical in terms of his performance, so we will see how that turns out, if he's a character we grow to love too. He did have a nice moment with Alfred. He plugs into the Flying Fox, which is the giant Batman thing that's in the cave and stuff like that, not to be confused with the Batmobile. And he goes, "I'll take it from here, Alfred." And Alfred's like, "Who are you?" So who knows where this takes place in the movie, but that was pretty cool. Some good things with Flash, some standout moments. You know, it feels like they were really focusing on all the new characters. We've seen Batman before. We've seen Wonder Woman. She has her own movie. She was also in the last film. So this trailer really felt like it was focusing on the new three: Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman, as well as the villain, which we'll get to later. But Flash had a couple great moments where he said, you know, "I never really done battle before. You guys have all battled before. I just run around and push people and then run away," which is probably very true, because all he really has to do is go like this in super speed, and that little bit of momentum, you know, that little bit of mass times all the speed he's got will translate into a big force for you in normal time. So that makes a lot of sense. I like that scientific aspect of it. So, frankly, I like the way that they're taking these characters. I know a lot of people are probably going to hate the fact that Aquaman tells jokes. They're going to hate the fact about Barry's line talking, you know, "I just push people and run away." They're going to say, "Oh, he's a coward," and blah, blah, blah. But let's be real. Just like the way they set up Superman, this is a character that is just starting their journey on being a hero, and they're going to grow from there. Whereas it seems like Marvel didn't take any risks with their characters in terms of changing who they were or letting actors portray them how they wanted to portray them. Marvel really said, like, here's the building blocks, here are the walls, you're not allowed to go outside these walls, you're not allowed to stretch outside, anything like that. Just stick with what we give you and you're going to do fine. And that seems to be Marvel's formula, whereas DC seems to be taking a lot more risks, and I hope they pay off. I hope they pay off. I think I've said before on the Comic Timing podcast, or maybe on this show, that I'm not opposed to anybody taking risks. I think they need to take risks to set themselves apart from Marvel, so that they're not being called a Marvel clone or anything like that. Marketing-wise, they're certainly taking a lot of risks and doing the fans what a lot of fans probably want them to do, especially Marvel, by releasing this Comic-Con footage probably, you know, seconds after it stopped showing in Hall H over in San Diego. As they were roaring, I'm sure this thing launched online. And they did the same thing last year, which was a huge surprise to everybody, but I thought it was a great, great strategy. Now, last year, they also had the Suicide Squad stuff, and they didn't release it right away, so a lot of people were looking at the leaked footage, which is usually what you see in Comic-Con stuff. So I love the move of studios showing it in Hall H first and then releasing it online, because everybody's talking about it anyway. All the entertainment journalists are sitting there in Hall H writing their impressions. You know, the guys from IGN or GameSpot or, you know, whoever, Entertainment Weekly or IMDb are covering this stuff. They're showing videos of people talking about the footage the entire time. So why not get those clicks as well in terms of advertising revenue and release your footage online on your channel? It's very, very smart, and I like the way that this is going down. So let's talk about the villain, Steppenwolf. We see a lot of Steppenwolf in this trailer. Steppenwolf is probably a largely CG character. He's played by Ciarán Hinds. You might know him from Game of Thrones as Mance Rayder, the King of the Wildlings, who was killed off in season 2 or 3. Can't quite remember. Maybe at the beginning of 4. And also, he was Julius Caesar in the HBO series Rome from a few years ago. So if you don't remember him from Game of Thrones, maybe you saw him there. He's done a couple other little things, hasn't really broke out into the spectrum. He's a British actor, a very good actor, but I don't think he did a lick of the motion capture on set for this. And I think there was an interview released a week or two ago of him talking about that he's never even met the rest of the cast. So if they're doing any facial performance work, we don't see it here. I was able to snag a couple of good screenshots on my iPad from this trailer where you see his face a little bit, and it looks very menacing. Doesn't really look anything like Ciarán Hinds at all from what I can tell. So if it is based on him, you can't tell immediately. And also they're not really showing his face in a full like chest up shot like you're seeing mine or any of the other characters here. They all have their moment to shine in this trailer except for Steppenwolf, but they do manage to make him look like a badass. He's got this giant war axe and he's throwing it all over the place, and you know, zooming past Aquaman, he's slamming it into the ground. At one point it looks like he's creating a fire pit. And if you know anything about how Apocalypse invades, and you kind of saw this in the background in Batman v Superman in the nightmare sequence, these like giant pillars of fire. And so when he, my guess is when he smashes his axe into the ground, I got a shot of this, that he's creating the first fire pit on Earth. And if that turns into, we see a shot later on where he's surrounded by parademons and stuff like that, then that might be their base of operations, this fire pit, and looks really cool. Also, there's a lot of Crisis imagery in this trailer. If you're familiar with Crisis on Infinite Earths or Final Crisis or Infinite Crisis, these are all events from the DC Comics storyline, and they were all heralded by red skies. There are a lot of red skies in this trailer. Now, it's probably just because they're near a fire pit. That's fine with me, but I love the imagery. Great stuff. There's also a great shot of Batman. We saw this, I think it first premiered on Facebook or something a few weeks back. But I love this shot of Batman on top of this gargoyle. And I think it's a callback to an artist from the 80s. I don't know if it's Alan Grant or Norman Brayfogle, but they did it first. But this is a great shot, great framing. This is also Zack Snyder. I think he released it a while back before he had to step away because of his daughter's untimely death. But anyway, it's a great shot of Batman. It looks like the visuals are going to be on point in this film, just like they were in Batman v Superman. It's just, can the story be on point? And it looks to me like everything we read from the set reports last year, that were released, that the Justice League and the Apocalyptians are searching for the mother boxes. It seems like the Amazons have one on Themyscira. In fact, we see a shot of it kind of cracking open, and it looks like from the mother box a boom tube opens up. At first I didn't know what this was. Then as I was taking screenshots, I realized that this thing is circular, and this is the thing that Steppenwolf falls down from. In fact, the first shot you see of him in the trailer, he falls down, you see kind of his front face or whatever, and then you get a close-up of his legs and stuff like that. Now, they have released some images of him in the toys, so you can see his kind of armor and things like that. I think it's a cool design. The unfortunate part is that it looks a lot like Ares from the Wonder Woman movie. Ares, if you recall my review from that film, I was saying they had a photo of Ares as a toy. The Build-A-Figure for their figure line has this giant like goat skull that he wore and these different horns, and instead they moved away from that into a more like crushed armor sort of look, and it looks closer to the comic book Ares with the two horns here and two here and two here. Now Steppenwolf looks much more like a bull because he has two giant horns emanating from the top of his head. You'll see him all throughout the trailer, so you know who he is. So I wonder if they moved away from the goat thing because his horns went down, the old Ares design. But it's just confusing that we have now two villains in a row in the same year. Both these films are coming out in 2017 in the DC universe with basically the same helmet design. And I know that Steppenwolf, they're calling from the Earth 2 design that Nicola Scott did, which is a great design, and I like what they're showing in the movie here, but it's just unfortunate that these two characters are going to be looking so similar. But Steppenwolf seems to have a much larger role in the Justice League movie than Ares did in the Wonder Woman movie. So excited to see the villain take shape. I'm excited for the red skies. I hope that they replace all the blackness. I was complaining about the blackness in the old Justice League teaser because I was saying you can't see anything, you can't see Batman. Hopefully with the red skies in there, if they make that a prominent feature of the final battles and stuff when they're fighting, that it'll illuminate Batman and all these other, you know, Aquaman's armor is very busy, very dark. Even though it is gold and he's got green pants, you can see when he rides that parademon that it's that same color, gold and green, or orange, gold, and green on the bottom, which is great. It's a callback to the comics. But hopefully the red skies accentuate this a little more and give us better views into all these characters. So I am excited for this movie. Like I said, hesitantly excited. I'm hoping the story's good. The visuals look on point. I'm loving Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I hope he's great throughout the film. I like the Barry Allen thing, being kind of a coward and being kind of, you know, I don't think he's a coward. He's just new. He's willing to put himself out there. He's not a coward by any means. But I know you're going to see a lot of pushback on that stuff, especially Barry Allen. The Flash being what it is on TV right now, and Barry being who he is on the TV, he's kind of established. And this is a totally different take on Flash, and I guarantee you people are going to hate on that in particular. So just be ready for that, but be with me and be hesitantly excited for Justice League when it launches this November. We will have a review on this channel definitely for that one. So thank you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the trailer. What were your favorite moments? What are you looking forward to? And what are you kind of hesitant on? Let me know, and I will see you guys in the funny pages.